everybody? It's your boy King Cold, and I'm here back with another video to tell you guys, well, you see the title, what it's like being a culinary specialist in 2024 in the United States Navy. So I guess let's start by saying I spent the past 8 years in the military. I joined back in 2016, and my experiences have been, there's been a lot of ups and downs, twists and turns. Started off my first command at an aircraft carrier. Aircraft carrier, depending on where you go, it could be very different as a CS. There's going to be a lot of hard work, a lot of long work days. You go on deployments. Deployments are always going to be like something crazy. You're going to see all these different ports, all these different experiences. Typically, culinary specialist work hours are, we have like a 5 and 2 work schedule when we're in port. A 5 and 2 work schedule, if you don't know, let's say you work on a Monday, you'll work that Monday and you'll work that Tuesday. You'll be off Wednesday and Thursday, and then you'll work Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And then it flips. You'll be off the following Monday and Tuesday, and then you'll work Wednesday and Thursday, and then you'll be off Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So it flips back and forth. We call that a 5 and 2 schedule. That's a typical work schedule for a CS in the Navy. However, when we're underway or out to sea, we work every single day. That's right, every single day, no days off, unless you can get like a special liberty request form granted to you for a good conduct, and they don't just hand those out to anybody. So make sure you're on point. One thing I would say to make your time as a CS easier, as soon as you get in, don't do what I did. I kind of took my time getting qualifications. You want to get all of your in-rate qualifications. For example, I actually have one here that I need to work on. This is what a qualification form looks like. Similar, this one is for CPO and officer mess attendant. That's a short one, basically saying that I'm getting qualified to learn how to work the mess decks outside of the galley. So there's plenty of in-rate quals you can get. First off, there's cook on watch. That's the basics. You gotta learn how to cook when you get the job. Secondly, there's baker on watch, when you learn how to bake. There's mess deck attendant, learn how to work the mess decks. So there's plenty of more quals in there. So you want to complete all your in-rate quals. That's number one. Number two, out-of-rate quals. So, for example, I have another one here. This is my team leader qual for DC, damage control. Damage control is something that is unavoidable no matter what rate you're in the military. You don't have to be DC man to learn how to do damage control. Everybody has to learn how to do damage control, because at the end of the day, if we're stuck on the ship together and a fire breaks out and all hell breaks loose, we're all in it together. We all have to like play a part in like making sure the ship gets back to safety and everybody's good. So you want to get your qualifications, and this leads me up to ESWAS. ESWAS is the basis and the foundations, basically showing the general knowledge of the ship and what you're doing. I'm actually on the ship right now, so I apologize if you guys hear like the intercom of the Wyndham Sea, but that's just the nature of the beast. So, always study. Back in the day, when I first joined, you had to take a test to make 3rd class. Now, you don't have to take a test. It's all based on eval. So that's another thing. You want to get your hand in many extracurricular activities. So, JEA meetings, volunteer work, anytime the chain of command puts out information, MWR events, just volunteer, get your name out there, because the military, doing your job, doing your rate isn't enough to stand out anymore. It's just not. The only way to stand out and to rank up faster is if you, number one, do volunteer work, get your quals, and Just don't get in trouble. That's about it. So, you guys, if more specifically to the rate, CS, Culinary Specialist, my personal opinion on the job after being in for 8 years, it's a lot of hard work. It can be very stressful at times, but it also has very rewarding benefits. For example, I can pretty much make my own food. I'm not, limited to portion control per se. I can pretty much, have full control over what I eat during deployments, and that is it's a pretty strong advantage. People will come to you for food. People will come to you for favors, and well, what do you think people are willing to do for, maybe a slightly bigger portion size, or maybe a special item that's not on the menu? They will sign your PQSs. So do that. Make sure you get these PQSs signed off. And especially as a CS, you can get these knocked out quickly. The only thing is, make sure you actually know the information when they sign these off. Because if they sign these off and you go and stand watches and you have no idea what you're doing, all you're gonna do is get yourself hemmed up. And you don't want to do that. So, make sure, if you're brand new in the military, make sure you keep track of all your uniform items. There's dress uniform inspections, annually throughout the year. You want to be that sailor that's always on point. Something that I don't do that I should do is, take the time to make sure my uniform is always up to point. Coveralls should be ironed. Boots should be shined. Dress shoes should be shined. Uniform items, dry clean, starch, pressed. You want to be that sailor that sticks out like a sore thumb. A lot of sailors these days don't do that. They don't like to take the time to do that. It'll be that one thing that you take an extra 30 minutes to an hour to do out of your day to make sure you look the best. You stand out like a sore thumb. I'm telling you, you do that, your chain of command is going to see you in a good light. Even if you're a shitbag sailor, if you have a uniform that's on point and you study and you know your knowledge, they can't say shit to you. They'll be on your side every time and they'll back you up. You get an EP valve, I promise you, if you do that. And what else can I say about being a CS in the Navy? There's multiple parts to being a CS. You're not just gonna be cooking the entire time, I can tell you that. Right now, I'm a cargo specialist, I guess you would say. I'm still a CS, culinary specialist, but I'm working on the cargo side of it. So, all I do is handle the inventory when the food comes in during stores. For those of you that don't know what stores are, it's basically when we get a shipment of food items onto the ship, or even on shore duty. It happens on shore duty too. When we get a shipment of food from these different vendors and different companies, they come here, and the records keeper, also a different job as a CS. They handle all the paperwork in the computer system, basically all the shipment, all the orders, all the issue documents like the 1090 and form and the 1282, which you'll learn about them when you go to A school. So I handle the food in the boxes, take them down to the storeroom, and I organize them and I keep track of what I issue and what comes in. What comes in and what comes out, I'm in charge of that. Whenever the galley uses the paperwork called the 1090 form, actually it's the 1282 form, the meal item issue request document, they use that to order food for each meal the day before. So they order the day before, and then I break out the food the day before so they can prep whatever they need to prep, throw out whatever meats they need to throw out for the following day. And everybody usually is rare that they don't start off in the galley as a cook on watch. That's the first thing you have to do. So that's unavoidable. Most likely you're gonna be in the main galley, So you usually typically, like for me, for example, I started off in the main galley, which is aft galley if you're on the ship. And then after about 6 months to a year putting in time there, you'll potentially get moved to another galley. You could get moved to wardroom or cheese mess and spend time in either of those places. And after, mastering in the culinary arts field, you'll get more into the administration side of it. So there's multiple places. You could be a maintenance CS, you can be a cargo CS, you can be a record keeper CS, or, yeah, that's pretty much the main three. And, that's about all I'm going to talk about 10 minutes in. So, guys, if you want to know any more information about the Navy in general, not just CS, feel free to comment under this video and let me know what you think. If you guys want to see more content like this, go ahead, like, comment, subscribe, support the video, and let me know what you want to hear next. All right, thanks.